Good evening, good evening, good evening. Hopefully, everybody can hear me all right. If you guys know, I'm Robert Santos, and thank you to this week's Veterans Bench. Anthony, can you hear me all right?
I hear you. Can you hear me?
Perfectly. If you guys don't know, this is Anthony. He's our special guest today, and he's actually running for Boardman, Ohio's Board of Education. Anthony, do
Correct.
you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah. Hello, everybody. My name is Anthony Buchmann. Pretty much born and raised in the Boardman area. Graduated Boardman High School in 1995. My wife Sherry, we've been married nearly 10 years. We got 4 kids. 2 of mine or 2 of hers. Yeah. So been in the getting into politics the last 4 or 5 years, and I've decided that I want to serve in a official capacity. So we'll see what happens.
That's outstanding. We definitely need patriots in office at all
Yeah.
levels, from trustee, board of education, all the way up to
Correct.
president. It's my understanding you're a veteran as well. Is that correct?
Yeah. U.S. Navy.
Ooh, Navy.
Shut up.
Oh, I'm a Marine. You know, I'm a Marine. If you guys don't know,
We
me
gave
and
you guys
Anthony,
rides. We gave
we've
you
been
guys rides everywhere.
we've been friends for a while. If you guys don't know, so it's kind of like weird introducing someone I know. But I'm a Marine. He's Navy. He took us where we needed to go. We did the job. They picked us up, brought us back home.
Yeah.
So we
Without us, they were stuck where they were at.
we would not know where to go. We're Marines. We'd be eating crayons the whole time. So what made you
Uh,
want to run for Board of Education
so
specifically?
the late Don Manning, I met him 4 or 5 years ago. He sent me a message on Facebook to come out to the cigar club event. And I did, and I met him and Tom and numerous other ones, and I kind of just watched and learned. I always asked if I can do anything. Sometimes I just kind of listened. But him and Tom McCabe are really the reason. I see how hard they work. I see what they do. I see what being a public servant means. Don Manning, boy, did he worked for the people every time. Once he got elected, um, he did. He was always doing something. He was reading to the kids. He was whatever the case may be. He was legislating. It was just. It was actually pretty amazing to watch. So I watched. I learned. And I decided, it's something I want to do. And initially, I thought about the trustee. And after doing some research and some talking and stuff like that, I was, there's times when you realize you're not ready for something. And
Mhm.
I'd rather come to that conclusion before it's too late. No, never do I ever want to put myself out there and get my butt handed to me. But I do think I have a good chance in the school board race. There's 3 seats up, and it's the top 3 vote getters. There's no, it's nonpartisan. There's no primary. November 2nd's the election, so we will see what happens. I'm out there now talking to people, doing some meet and greets. I'm going to have some spaghetti fundraisers. I'm going to get some signs, some T-shirts. Keep it simple, and I want to be able to. I want people to be able to call me or contact me. My Facebook page, it's Committee to Elect Anthony Buchmann. Look it up, like it, follow it, send me a message, call me. My phone number's on there. Um, yeah, so I want to see what the people. It's about serving the people. It's not about serving
Yeah.
my own best interests. Yeah, I do have ideas, but I want those ideas to match what the majority wants.
Mhm.
I think there needs to be more emphasis or more focus on the trades in high school. I'm in the trades right now. I'm in local 396 plumbers and pipe fitters. So we don't have a lot of people sitting on the bench. As you get older, I'm going to be 45. 15 years from now, I'm going to be 60.
Hey,
Climb
that's a new
ladders.
21. It's a new
Yeah,
21. Don't
yeah. I
worry.
wish. I
I
remember them
just turned
days.
40, so it's
Those were good
okay.
days. But climbing ladders at my age, which is not that old, however, you notice the creaks and stuff like later on in the day when you get home. You just gotta sit down and rest a little bit.
I can't
But I
even
see
get out of
guys.
bed without cracking. So
Oh, I know. And then you got to kind of roll out of bed.
yeah.
But I see guys in their 60s. It's difficult to walk. Their knees are shot, whatever, and that can go with along with just about anything. But when there's nobody coming up behind you and picking up the slack and doing the heavy lifting, then the trades are going to fall short.
Mhm.
So and I love the trades. I do. I'm on call, which nobody ever likes. Sometimes I get called out 2 in the morning. but it's time and a half. I get paid from the
Mhm.
time I leave my house to the time I get home. There's been days that I got called out at 8 a.m. and I would be done Sunday morning. So I'd get called out at 8 a.m. Saturday, Sunday morning at 3, I'm done in Cleveland.
You know,
Well,
I've seen your post about that. It's
oh,
legit, guys. He's out there for quite a while.
yeah, it's in the dead of winter. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. It could be 0 degrees outside. You got to put the coveralls on, but it's honest work. You're working hard. You get there's always time off. I I'm not a I'm a part of the local 396, but I work for a company, so I get vacation and all that stuff. I get benefits through my company. So it's a little bit better than working 712s, which a lot of when you work out of the hall, sometimes you get hit on 712s and you have no life. Well, that's not what I want in my life. There's some people
Mhm.
that are like that. I work with a guy who was doing our installs. He doesn't mind it. He's single. Um, and so when he works 712s for 3 months, he banks all the money and then has a good time afterwards, takes a vacation or whatever. So, but we need people coming up, whether it's electrical, HVAC, commercial
Mhm.
refrigeration, um, heavy equipment operator, whatever the case may be, it needs to be taught sooner in high school. And that's what I believe. Um, there used to be a time where there was young kids on equipment back in the day and they never got hurt.
Yeah.
We got to stop treating kids like they're, fragile, and they're not.
Yes.
We need to teach them how to grow up and be men and be women who work hard
Mhm.
and not always on the phones or all stuff like that. So
Constantly, they're literally
constantly
facing Reddit.
my daughter sits in her room and plays the war games and stuff like that. And I'm
Mhm.
like, don't you want to come out with the family and hang out a little bit? So, but no, yeah. So that, there's quite a few little, things here and there. Being fiscally responsible is always, on the top of the list.
Mhm.
No new levies, no new taxes. The property owner pays more than a fair share of taxes, and
Oh
it
yeah.
just seems to always go up. Um, and
I
it
think
just has
Biden just signed something recently about raising the taxes. I didn't get a chance to look at it, but he was the most significant raise in a long, long time since the
yeah.
90s.
Well, ours in 2017, I believe ours was a little over 1,400 a year. It's like almost 1,750 or 1,800. So it's gone up 3 or 400 in 3 years. For
That's
what?
ridiculous.
So, and I want to get involved with that. I'm going to be going to the meetings now. I'm going to be meeting with people. I want to meet with people. Um, I'm a people person, as you can probably tell. I use my hands a lot. I'm Italian. I have no problem getting in your face and talking to you. So, but yeah, so I want to do this. I'd love to do this podcast as often as possible, and
Oh yeah.
everything I pick up, and we can talk some more. But yeah,
Listen,
so
everybody's welcome to come on if they want to come on, talk about their story. They don't have to be a candidate. You can just be a business owner. You can be,
right,
who knows? I don't, it doesn't matter. If you want to come, you want to talk, because these things, as you know, we've been friends for a while. It's just a
yeah,
way for me to casually talk to everybody, because
correct,
most of the time, all you see is all these candidates running for office, and you just see the political aspect, the suit and tie,
right,
and they're like, hey, this is that. And I'm not. I'm a
yeah,
jean and a t-shirt. I'm a jean
right,
and maybe even a polo. I like polos, but I'm
yeah,
jeans, boots. Everyone knows me. That's the way
right,
I am. I'm not gonna sit there and fake the funk. And honestly, nowadays, that's what we want. We want actual, true individuals in office at all levels that actually can
hmm
relate to the people, instead of all these lawyers putting themselves in each other's pockets, doing all these
That's what,
backdoor deals,
right
and it's
on the federal
ridiculous.
level. Yeah, on the federal level, that's what seems to be what happened. There's
Yeah,
lawyers, and listen, your job is to serve the people.
it is.
Period. End of conversation. This is something I talked to Don a couple years ago about the lobbies and special interest groups. There is a purpose for them, but they've grown into such a strong state that they're not. You're serving them and not the people,
Mhm.
not your constituents as a whole. You're serving these certain little, even the NRA. Listen, I have no desire. Listen, I'm a gun guy. I'm a Second Amendment guy. I don't need to join the
Yes.
NRA to prove who I
Yes.
say I
Yeah.
am. You know,
You don't need
so
to join those to
so
prove
you're
that you are.
serving
Yeah.
certain people are serving the NRA. No, no, no. You serve the people. The Constitution is what it is. It's not. Initially, it was not a perfect document, but
Yeah.
the amendments made it as perfect as humanly possible. And it says that we, the people, have the power. It's
Mhm.
our country. The capitals that are the capital that's down in D.C. and in every state. That's the people's capital.
It
And
is.
it's they're all inclusive there. That's what I mean. To not everybody, but the majority are. They just serve their best interest, and I just can't take that crap
No,
anymore.
I
It's getting to the point where it's like, you know, where's our freedoms are going out the window. You know, they're not going to take guns, but now you look at gun or bullet prices, rounds. They're ridiculously expensive now. For what? For no reason whatsoever, other than to keep it out of people from buying them. So,
I know.
but I'm just venting.
No, you're fine. That's what this is for. People get to know you at all levels. Now we all know that Board of Education is definitely it's a non-partisan race.
Correct.
It doesn't matter about Democrat, Republican.
No, it does not.
Independent, Libertarian. Who doesn't matter because all that stuff is not even here or there when it involves to our children's education. So I actually have a story. I know you live in Boardman. I'm not too sure if you know about the other cities around. But about a year and a half ago, there was an incident in Austintown. I'm not too sure if you heard about it, but the superintendent stepped down. So he was like his 7th month, maybe 6th or 7th month in. He stepped down. He resigned. He quit. The Board of Education decided they're going to pay him for the rest of the 2 years. On top of that, they're going to hire a new superintendent
and pay him
the full amount. And as a result, they had at that time they fired 27 teachers. They did end up rehiring a few of them, and they attempted to shut down the media program. So my question to you is, and I'm pretty sure I know the answer to this, is if the person stepped down and quit, would you still consider paying him, even if it was your brother? For the rest of the year.
My vote would be no. You step down. If I leave my job, for whatever reason, pay stops. Done. So no matter you leave your job, the pay stops.
Done.
If you get if you get laid off, that's a different story. But if you resign, you get fired, whatever, you're done. So now they're paying. We'll just take a figure of 100,000. So now they're paying 200,000 out of pocket to the one who resigned and to the current one, and that's wrong. That's wrong in every way possible.
It's taking the money away from the kids. Like, how many times have you seen? Like, you're 45. You said I'm 40, so we grew up around the same.
July,
we grew up around the same era time frame. So I remember when I went to high school, I had wood shop, I had metalworking, I had auto mechanics, I had architecture. There was culinary arts, childcare, art, photography, with all that stuff. And I'm seeing like only all these are gone.
Less and less.
They're gone. And
I just talked to my stepson real quick. I'm sorry. He goes to Boardman. He's a senior. The metal shop teacher retired, and they got rid of everything. They got rid of the equipment, so they don't have a metal shop now. So I didn't mean it was on the top of my head, and I need to.
It's ridiculous that these things are happening, because my mindset is for the education is if you're just having these kids, you're teaching them to pass a test. And I know this is a huge
I agree,
but we're teaching them just to pass, and we're not becoming innovators. The American culture is pretty much based on innovating. We're crying out Ohio, what do we have in Ohio? What's the biggest innovation we had here in Ohio? Planes, right? I mean, the Wright brothers. I mean, it's outstanding. They would not have had that if they weren't expanding their mind, giving people a reason to go to school. I know you're going to Boardman, but Youngstown and other places as well, is we're not giving kids a reason to go to school to do good. I know in order to have these type of classes like auto mechanics, you got to have like a certain grade depending on the school you're at. It could be a D+, it could be a C, it could be a B, but you're pretty much pushing these kids to have that type of education, that type of grade, so that way they can go ahead and have that extra class. They need that.
So go ahead.
No, you go ahead. You're good.
So my thoughts on that is, for every child's different. Some are book smart, some are street smart. Some learn by doing, using their hands. I could take an engine apart and put it back together with no problem. That needs to be recognized sooner, I believe. Not just, and I get it. It's from the state. I get that, but that needs to change too. It has to. There has to be a common ground that is met between the schools and the state to say, okay, this child obviously is great with his hands. He can build. He can whatever. We need to focus on classes that are going to allow for his success after he graduates, and not just throw him and say, hey, the only thing you can do is college. or the only thing you're going to do is flip burgers. So
we'll get a liberal arts degree, which you can't do anything in life with that.
You can't do, it's like a business management. I mean, really, people, my brother's a good example of, and my brother is very smart, great with numbers, goes to school to be a CPA, graduates school, couldn't find a job because they said he doesn't have enough experience. He works for Norfolk Southern now, the railroad. It's like, he just spent all that time and money to be educated in what he enjoys doing or is good at, and now he's working for the railroad because nobody wanted to hire him. And that happens a ton. I mean, it's probably too much. It's way too much is what it is. So, but that needs to be recognized. I mean, not everybody's for college. Put them where they're going to be strong at and succeed in this world to offer this world something to contribute to society and their community.
And not to mention that, it's like some people might have an idea that they're interested. Like for me, I use architecture as an example. I thought I was interested in that. Obviously, I was in high school. We're all naive in that time frame. We don't know what we want to do in our life. Right. So, hey, architecture, it sounds pretty easy. It's a good paying job. Let me go ahead and take the architecture class. I was horrible at it. I tell you what, I barely passed, but at least it gave me the one. It was an extracurricular activity I needed to do while in school. I needed to do that. It was an elective. Which was required to graduate. It also gave me it broadened my mind to what's out there. And I realized that I am not interested in it. So I'm not going to spend thousands upon thousands of dollars going to college for architecture to find out that I'm completely horrible at it. So these are the type of things that we need in schools and that we definitely need to make sure we actually have these kids' minds stimulated and actually grow so that they can be better in society. Because right now, look what's going on. I mean, there's really nothing here.
So when I was in school, and I remember like it was yesterday because this is who I am, sitting in class, for probably half the people is okay, the other half not so much. It was very boring to me. I could have thought of about 100 different things I could be doing that would I would either enjoy or contribute in another fashion. I'm just not a book person. I don't have any desire. That's not me, and that's okay. They want to diagnose it as ADD or something like that. And I'm not saying that that's not real, but if you allow a child to focus on what they're good at, you don't have that problem. So, and that's in my opinion. So whether I'm right or wrong, that's what I believe because I live it. I need something that I can focus on and do well, and I'm okay with that.
So my question, the next thing we're going to talk about is obviously we know what COVID is doing right about now with all their education and everything is always different. But and obviously every school is different. My kids go to Girard, and I'll give you my example of what's going on and how it's affecting our lifestyle here. And maybe you can tell me what Boardman's doing and what you would like to see change. But for Girard, they were obviously just all online, and obviously
same with Youngstown.
Yeah. And they started actually, hey, there's 2 days. So now it's all online, but 2 days they're going to school. However, drop them off at 8:00, no more early drop off, and you must pick them up by 1:00. So if you're working a full-time job like me or you, what's that mean? One, you got to be late for work because you got to drop your kid off. What work is not going to get upset about that? What business, what company is not going to get upset? Not to mention the fact that I now have to leave at 12 after I just dropped them off to go pick them up at 1, drive him home, and then go back to work.
Right.
Because so that's already a hindrance on me. But now it's full time. So now it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Friday there is not in person school. It's online. But for those 4 days, that's a hindrance on individuals. And the majority of the people here in the Valley, both parents work, and that's obviously an issue. So what would you like to see done with Boardman?
Well, like I said, Jackson is a senior at Boardman, so he goes on Wednesdays is their remote learning day. Me personally, at this point in time with everything, I think that could be changed. I think you just it's time to go back to school full time. And even, and if Jackson was here, I've talked to him about it. He goes, I'd rather be in school. I don't like this remote learning. So are you truly doing what's best for the kids? I'm going to, I'll give Governor DeWine and whoever else was involved with all the COVID, I'll give them the first couple of months because they were unsure. I'll give them that. That's fine. I still worked full time. There was a couple times where we were on 4 days. but it didn't happen very often. I was still on call, still had to go to work. But once, initially it was, let's just flatten the curve. Well, they flatten the curve. They keep on rolling with this stuff. They keep throwing money at us. From my perspective, it's a control thing. It's a power thing.
Our kids do need to go back to school. I mean,
they just need to go back to school.
I'm not trying to say I'm a bad parent in any way, or anyone else is a bad parent.
No.
But if we're working from 8 to 4 or 5 o'clock in the evening, and the kid's home doing his homework, how much is he really doing? How much is he really learning? And then after you just worked a full-time job, now you got to come home at 5 o'clock and start being a teacher. So your job's not done. Not only did you work a 12-hour shift on your feet, for people like me and you, we're dead tired. I'll literally sit down. I'll probably start taking a nap after about 30 minutes once I get home. I don't want to. I want to play with my kids and stuff. But now I got to play teacher. Right. And now I got to make sure my kids did their homework, make sure they did it properly, make sure they understand. And that's going to happen till about 8 o'clock, because by the time I go home, it's 5 o'clock. It's a 3-hour thing. Talking about their homework, you got to eat dinner. Half the time, like I've actually looked at my sons. This is Gerard, not Boardman. This is Gerard. Now it's just a click. Watch a video. Click, 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 and you passed. I'm sorry. I was in the Marine Corps. You in the Navy. We had MCIs. All right. There were some classes we had to take, and all we had to hit was next, and then we get our certificate. So did we learn anything? No, we did not. Nothing. Well, we got the certificate. We got the proof. Now, obviously, the ones that were necessary, we definitely paid attention to. But the stuff like math, I really just clicked next. But for our kids at that age, they're sponges. They need to absorb this information, and we're not giving them the environment they need to absorb it, which is kind of like, it's a little harsh. And then you find out that they're missing an assignment, and then it's all this stuff that's going on. And it's the teachers are... Majority of teachers do want to come back. Some of the teachers don't. They actually want to stay and do online. That's a whole different issue, but it's mostly for our kids. They need to be in that classroom setup, because as you know, there's 3 ways people learn. Like you said earlier, it's watching, showing them, and actually doing it. It's the 3 ways. In the Marine Corps, I'm sure the Navy does it too. When you have instructions, and actually in the Marine Corps, they first you sit there and you listen to them just run their mouth on how this is done. Then they show you, and then they say, "Here's the wrench. Go ahead and do it." That way, it covers all 3 aspects of learning, where everyone actually will learn, and there's no ifs, ands, buts about it. That's the type of stuff we need. And right now, what we're doing is we're having all these kids are just learning by them talking. They're not actually doing. It's not hands-on. I remember having chemistry class where you're mixing everything and doing it right. You can't do that on a computer.
Well,
I mean,
you're talking about like the interacting. Well,
yeah.
Jackson, my stepson, he goes, the interaction is very minimal at school anyhow, because you're wearing the mask. You got the plastic up. You got this. It's time to get back to school. Period. End of conversation. Monday through Friday, you go back to school. There's no reason for a Wednesday remote learning. And I just saw something. I don't have it with me. There was an article in the Boardman News about having a counselor to help kids get back to school.
Okay.
I have a problem with that. Kids are off for 3 months in the summer, right? Do they have a counselor to teach them how to get back into school after 3 months? No, they don't. So I think as a country, whether it's the country, the state, we've gone soft. I believe that. I got paddled when I was a kid. I got soap in the mouth when I was.
I got this bad boy for spilling milk, but my father.
Yeah, so, I mean, and
it wasn't right.
It wasn't
my mom
right.
did the right thing. She kicked him out. She's like, "Okay, that's it. You're done."
Yeah.
But still, it's like.
Yeah, and I don't look at my mother with.
I went to Catholic school.
Oh. Yeah,
Rulers.
I went to St. Dobbs. Yeah, put your hands out, bam. You know what I mean?
Especially the ones with the metal on the tip of it. Oh, those were the worst.
Just whack. Yeah, I got paddled in 5th grade. It's.
I know you're not saying that's what we need to do. It's just we are getting soft. But there is definitely a right way to actually discipline our kids the appropriate way where they can get the lesson across their mind and actually can go do what they need to do. Like I grew up single mother. She raised me.
Right.
I mean, my brother and my sister, and outstanding individual, and we're missing that.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially with both parents working too. my mom was a full-time nurse. My dad was over the road
We'll
truck
talk about
driver.
that, Susan.
What's that?
No, I'm sorry. Actually, Susan brought up a good point, and I don't mean to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
The incident that happened, I think it was last month. There was a individual in school who there was I guess I'll let you explain it. I'm sure you know the whole water bottle incident. So I don't know if the whole question will be show up. Let me hit this little show button. I'll read the whole thing. That's only a little bit. But the question that Suzanne asked was, Anthony, I would hope that if you're elected to the school board, the situation that happened at Boardman School with the little boy that is autistic, that was totally unacceptable and sorry, it's moving. Unacceptable. And the way they handled it was horrific. There needs to be consequences for the teachers and the aides to harm abused kids. And I would hope if you're elected that you can definitely make a huge difference. Now, I'll give my point on that one. And I'm sure I'll just let you go off on that because you're the one running for Board of Education.
Yeah.
For me, it doesn't matter if you're autistic or if you're not or anything. If it was the hair, the head, the clothes, to me, you don't do that at all. You're a teacher, and you know what? If the kid doesn't have a water bottle, chances are maybe they forgot, and a person does forget a lot. That's fine. They're kids. And last time I checked, a water bottle is about $1. You need a water bottle, you come get me, and I'll give you one. The school should be able to provide that if a kid definitely is. His family is not as fortunate as others. I doubt it's going to hold that much of a dampening on their financial issues at the school. So what's your take on that?
Well, first and foremost, I agree with you 100%. When somebody does something wrong, no matter to who it is, in respect to what she did, she should have been let go on administrative leave pending an investigation out of the schools. They moved her into another class, and then they put her on remote learning. Massive mistake. Whether they knew all the facts or not, you have to put there's child safety involved. Period. End of conversation. Whether autistic or whether normal, okay, it's safety involved. So once they found out all the particulars and the investigations were done and whatnot, whether they found it to be criminal or not is irrelevant. She did what she did. It's time for her to go. And she, from my perspective, my opinion, her credentials should be pulled. So that's where I'm at.
No, I agree. I mean, without a doubt. I mean, it doesn't really matter if it was like a lot of people are saying, I can't believe it's a head. I don't care if it was the shirt. You're demoralizing an individual. You're being, you're disrespecting a child who, and I'm not politically correct, but the individual's autistic. He's already having a hard time at life because there are individuals out there that do, they have that little stink in their head. So he's already battling that. And now we're going to go ahead and humiliate him. It's like, you've got to be kidding me. You're a teacher. You're supposed to guide these kids. You're supposed to be their protector while they're at school. And she clearly did not do that. She needs to go. So we definitely agree on that. I don't think there's anybody watching it does not agree on that at all. But how it was handled, I don't agree.
It was handled poorly. I went to the meeting. I see Danielle's on here. We went and did the rally before at 5:30 last month, and then we went in. It was. I loved that there was a lot of people there, but it can't just be because of a situation that happened. I hope, and I hope people hear me say this. I hope, because I'm going to post this on my page and Robert, it's on Robert's page. Hold me accountable. Those kids' safety is first and foremost. Safety, education, but safety. And what happened to McCade should never happen to a single solitary child. So, but we can't allow this to just be I guess a one-trick pony would be the right wording. We have to be going to these meetings. They're only once a month. They're for an hour, hour and a half. When we show numbers and we show strength in numbers, it makes it easier for us to hold our public servants accountable for their actions.
The last couple of meetings I went to was a trustee up in Warren, and I actually have one scheduled next week. I don't have where it's at, but I have next week. Got to fix my schedule. But the ones I've been to, and I know you've been to them too, all around, it's like 3 or 4 people actually go there and watch these individuals, whether it's trustee, board of education.
Yeah,
And
there's
it's
not.
like pretty much what it's doing, at least how it appears to me, is that they're just doing everything whatever they want with no recourse at all, because there's no one there holding them
Nobody
accountable.
there.
We need to
Exactly.
hold them accountable. We need people to know. I know, for example, over at Hubbard, one of my friends, Molly, she actually goes there and she records every single trustee meeting.
Okay.
Every single one, and she posted it on Facebook. If we at least have one person that does that at every single meeting, that means that they're going to be held more accountable to their actions on how their decisions, how they're using our tax dollars. Are they misappropriating them? Which we know what's going on, because we can start going on that blimp building or the blimp factory that we have. No, we don't have one. The chill can factory that's booming, since 2015, we gave them $1.2 million. It's just all of them. Obviously, my stuff there, but all this money is being misappropriated, obviously, with Austin Town, with the superintendent. And this is money that can go to our kids. It can go to anything. Obviously, it's just ridiculous how our officials at all levels are just running amok, and they need veterans like us to go in there, knock down some doors, grab them by the granny ear and say, what in God's name are you doing? You are bleeping on our nation. Stop it. Our kids are our future. We need to make sure they have in America to actually live in. And it's not happening.
So I'm gonna put this out here too. So God willing, I get elected, and I'm gonna have a job to do. And I'm going to do it to the best of my abilities, but I'm going to surround myself with smarter people. So if I'm going into a situation, I'm going to make sure I talk to people and say, hey, what do you guys think? What can we do about it? What can I do to better this situation? But I'm also going to make myself available outside of that one meeting. So I was actually just talking to somebody a little bit ago. I think it was South Range Schools. It was either one of the trustees or one of the school board members had like an open forum. They would say, let's meet at Perkins and we will talk. And that's what I'm going to do. I have a full-time job. My kids are almost done with school, but I do have a full-time job. My wife, everybody's busy. I promise you, I will make time. I will make time for anybody and everybody just to talk. If you need to vent about something, if you have an idea for the schools, let me know. I will put it out there.
The way technology is nowadays, you don't even need to leave your home. I'm in Austin Town. You're in Boardman at the Republican Party. It's not that hard. I can get 10 people on here. You see all these comments. I mean, even obviously in person's a lot better, but sometimes, our lives get out of control and we can't make it here or there. We have the technology to do it. There's no reason why we can't.
We do. And if we, you're running, coming up here soon as well. We can just because we get in doesn't mean the public goes to the wayside, and that's what happens all too often. I don't think it's completely intentional. I just think everybody's busy, and you run. Next thing you know, it's a week later. But if you put it on your schedule and your phone goes off and says, "Oh, tonight at 6, Anthony's or Congressman Santos is having a meet and greet or a town hall meeting or whatever," I'm going to go to that. We have the technology. I just got a new iPhone. I think I've had.
Is that the 12?
That's the 12.
Oh, I got the 11.
I haven't had an iPhone since the 3G because I didn't like it. I actually hated it. I've had Samsung, and I tell you what, this baby's been missing my whole life because I love it.
It's awesome. You can do everything. I mean,
I just tell Siri what to do.
It's the way that technology is nowadays. There's no reason for any elected official or candidate to not be reachable, to not be able to be out there to talk to the individuals. Especially like for me, obviously, I'm running for Congress right now. District 13, as of now, stretches all the way to Akron. Who knows what's going to happen in July? But like for today, obviously, I got out of work. My wife's at her preceptorship, so she left for that around 6 o'clock. I really can't pack my 4-year-old up and go drive all the way to Akron for a meeting. So if somebody want to talk to me, hey, do this. The technology is there to talk to everybody, to be in person, and things can always work out. I mean, people nowadays understand we're all right here in the valley, from Boardman, Austintown, Youngstown, Bloomfield. That's actually not Bloomfield, Middle Ridge, all of them. we're all live in far away areas. We all want to communicate
Right.
with everybody. Obviously, we all work together. Boardman's Board of Education needs to work with the trustees. Trustees need to work with
Right.
Youngstown. Youngstown needs to work with Austintown, Portage. It's everybody needs to work with everybody. And I truly feel, and this is some people trying to like get me on this, but I really feel that even a congressman, elected individuals, should be in constant contact, even if it's just an aide, with the people down at the trustee and board of education levels, because the only way they can properly ensure that the entire area is being functional, that they actually find out what their needs are. How they find out what their needs are, talk to the people who are responsible. And it's the only way it can done. The technology now, it's the only, there's no transparency nowadays. None.
No, there's not.
There's only transparency during election time.
Right.
Period.
And that's what we want to do away with. You keep it going throughout the year, you keep them engaged. And actually go to Mike Slanina, I think is his last name. It says I was late. And could you put that up?
Yeah.
It says I was late. I don't know, but you know, is Anthony from Boardman? Did he go? I did. I graduated in 1995. So yeah, I am definitely willing to stand up to the elite. If you ever get to meet me, I'm the same person here, whether it's on Facebook, on video. Ask my wife. I don't change.
So you have a meet and greet coming up as well?
I just had one, but I'm going to schedule another one in a couple of weeks.
Okay.
If anybody wants to get a hold of me, yeah, Mike or anybody else, go to Robert Santos's page and just tag yourself in it or tag me in it and say, hey, get a hold of me. I'll message you. I can get you my number. I'll get you my page. It has all my information on there. If you want to talk about whatever, I'm going to be an open book. So yes, I am willing to stand up against the elite, and it ain't going to be easy because for so many years, my belief is, just because from what I've seen, I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. Complacency got us to where we're at. So the Constitution, Declaration of Independence, we the people, we the people, we the people. We are the rightful owners of this land, local, state, federal. If we don't stay involved, we can't keep our elected officials accountable. So I know Robert. I've known him for probably 4 years now. I know myself. We have to keep you engaged. We have to keep and tell you what's going on. You can't just see something in the paper that has been in the works for 8 months and all of a sudden now it's a bill. And now you can go online to the government pages and stuff like that. But I'd much rather do this.
Oh, it's ridiculous. I mean, if you look online, like obviously, I'm running for Congress. I'm trying to keep up with all these bills that are being introduced, and they introduce them. Unless you're actually online watching them introduce a bill, you will not be able to read that bill in detail. Sometimes 48 hours, sometimes 4 weeks. If you go onto the congressional website, you look at their bills, and the Senate ones are in there too, but they're not even there. The text is not there. There is no transparency, and that is ridiculous because it's so easy to scan a piece of document and put it on. If we could do that for online schooling,
right? You can do it for that.
I mean, they can easily scan a piece of legislation, put it on there, and let them know, hey guys, this is what I am going to introduce today. This is what's going on. And it's just ridiculous that they are keeping us in the dark, especially the ones that we can't even read, and they introduce and vote on that same day.
Yep.
It's
now
5,000 pages.
Yes. How do we have time to read all that? We don't. Nobody does. And that's why we have to get out here and do this. If we start to talk about it step by step, and I'm not saying we have to spend as elected officials. Yes, they are busy. I don't dispute that. But you got elected by the people. I will get elected by the people of Boardman. You will get elected by the people of your district. Those are the people you serve. Plain and simple. You stay in contact with them. Again, if you or I surround ourselves with smarter guys than us, smarter women than us, because if it wasn't for my wife, I'll be honest, my wife's a lot smarter than I am. I just think I'm smart. She's helped me through so much. We've helped each other through so much.
That's how marriages work.
She really has a great head on her shoulder. No matter our ups and downs, the reason I'm here today is because I married her. We went through
The
some
support
tough
she gives
times.
you.
Right. She does give me support. Listen, she's a Democrat. All right.
Oh, we know. Oh, we
I
know.
married a Democrat who doesn't agree with a lot of what I say and vice versa. But you know
Oh,
what?
no, we get the arguments on Facebook all the time.
Yeah, I love her. I do. I wake up next to
She's
her
a great person. She
and
is
I'm
a great
happy.
person.
She is. She's got a great head on her shoulders. She's got a very good
She is
heart.
a Democrat, though.
She is a Democrat. She's got a Democratic heart. But listen, it's all good. But no,
Yeah.
I've in the past I've wanted to do things, and sometimes I go and do them. Sometimes she says, "No, don't do that," or "This would be better this way." And I tried her way, and it works. So it's
That's how
about
marriage.
communication. Yeah, it's
That's how
about
marriages
communication.
are. It's all about supporting each other and what their life dream is. Like my wife, her dream is to be a nurse. I'm supporting her. She knows my dream is to continue to serve the public, to serve the community and our nation. She knows this is what I want to do. She's supporting me. That's how marriages work. I mean, you can't just sit there and you tell your wife, "No, I'm sorry, you're not studying for this exam because I'm going to go and do a live stream. I don't care about your dream." No, that's wrong. That's rude. That's disrespectful. And she should leave me if I do. That's why it supports.
She would.
She should. It's her dream. It's her dream.
Right.
And who am I to step in my wife's dream? I should be supporting her, and I do wholeheartedly. Just as she supports me, just like you guys support me, just like you guys are going to support Anthony in his run for Board of Education. I think he's a great, smart individual. He'll definitely be looking out for the kids.
Absolutely.
Definitely check him out too.
And just to throw this out there, Sherry's youngest is low functioning autistic. So I can imagine if that would have happened to him, what happened in Boardman, I would actually very quickly move out of my wife's way because I'm not trying to stop her from getting justice because she's a social worker and she's got an autistic child. You just stay out of the way.
She does a lot for kids.
She does. She works. She actually works for she got a job. I can't remember when the date was, but she's been there for a little while now. Less than probably 6 months. But the Hine Memorial Fund.
Okay.
Which, have you heard of it?
Yes.
Yeah. So
she told me about it. That's why I heard about it.
Yeah. So you've heard of it. She told you. But yeah, she does great things for people for. When if somebody's in need, if they're in the program, they get what they need. But she does have a great heart, and sometimes I've been too rough, and not being so supportive of certain things. But overall, there's no I would marry her all over again. So, but yeah, but she's being
cheaper
supportive
though, right?
of what I want.
Expensive, right?
What's that?
Cheaper though, right? Go the cheap route.
Yeah.
Not doing that blowing out thing again.
No,
it's a lot of money.
We're gonna learn. We're gonna learn right away.
I'm going to the courthouse.
Yeah.
Let's go.
But yeah. So I got some ideas. If anybody wants to talk to me, I don't know how many people are on right now.
We have 16 total right now, but we had like 67 so far. Watch.
Okay. Yeah, so I mean, if anybody wants to get a hold of me, listen, I'm just a man. I'm just a guy from Boardman who wants to serve the public. That's what it boils down to. I have a lot to learn, and I'm willing to learn. Talk to different people. I talk to Robert, talk to other people around me. It's just this is something I want to do. I think I can bring it to bring good things to the table. Hold on one second. Is everyone aware of the fact that 1 in 5 kids? That doesn't surprise me. I don't know much about. I mean, I know what it is. I don't know much about it.
It depends on, like, some people will have it worse than others. Some can't read. They actually take a lot longer to read. Some other individuals. Some people it's actually mild where they just mistake their B's and D's, and when they can read, they read it correctly, but when they're writing, they'll make a mistake of making a B a D or all that stuff, a P a Q. They'll do stuff like that, but it's nothing severe. That's the low end. But then you have obviously the ones who have severe dyslexia where it's like everything is all messed up, and it does take a lot of time and effort. And if these teachers are not educated to be able to not diagnose but identify if the kid is having those types of symptoms, they can't properly teach the kid or give the kid what is needed. to actually make sure
Correct.
they actually can function in life, because it does take a lot of training. I have a few friends of mine that have severe dyslexia, and you wouldn't know it, but it took years and years and years
to get through it,
for them to get through it and actually
Yeah.
teach themselves. They have to basically reteach themselves. Like, it'd be basically like us going back to grade school trying to learn Common Core.
Starting all over
We're
again.
like, what is this Common Core stuff? But
oh yeah. So real quick, I just if anybody wants to look up my page, I just had it, and hold on one second. You can type in you can either do committee to elect Anthony Buchmann. It's Anthony. My last name is Buchmann, as you can see up there. And it's also, you can do at elect Anthony Buchmann Boardman, BOE. At elect Anthony Buchmann Boardman, BOE. So, and get a hold of me, talk, do whatever. I just want to serve. So
that's outstanding. So unless anyone has any other questions, that's pretty much all we're going to have today. I mean, he's a great person. We'll have you on again, Anthony. I appreciate you coming. Definitely. This is a new program, so we don't have an ending screen for you guys. So, but I mean, it definitely worked out. The reason why we're using this program real quick is people weren't getting notifications for the last ones. We reverted back to the StreamYards, where obviously definitely seems a lot more people were actually receiving notifications. We went live. So we have a lot more active viewers while we're actually going ahead and doing our live stream. So it's good. We're going to stick with this. I like this program. It's a lot better. I can have 10 people on. It's simpler. My 4-year-old could run this program. So that being said, thank you, Anthony. I appreciate it. I look forward to talking to you later. Again, if you guys have any questions,
Mike, thank you.
Send it to us, and I appreciate it. All right. Thank you, guys. Semper Fidelis, all the Marines. Hoorah to the Navy guy right there. Well, God bless you all, and God bless America.
All right. God bless you guys.